Sono Karin Fischer. Questo è 10 Minutes to Inspire. Hi, Joe Zadeh. Thank you for joining us at the Tech.Emotion 10 Minutes to Inspire.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, Joe, tell us a little bit about yourself and what brings you to Italy, right? Because you're currently living here, right?
Yeah, in my previous job, I was one of the first employees at Airbnb. I was number 9. Started as a software engineer, then I was the head of product, and then I helped create and I ran the Airbnb experiences business, tours and activities. I was there for 10 years, and then after 10 years, I wanted a change of scenery. And my daughter went to an Italian school in San Francisco and had pretty good understanding of Italian, so we thought, let's keep the Italian going, and we moved to Bologna.
Wow. I love to hear about people, who decide to come to Italy and probably help us unlock the Italian potential. What is the potential you see in Italy?
Well, one thing I've seen that I did not appreciate till I moved here is the talent is so good. Like the technical talent for the tech ecosystem is very, very good. I have spent a lot of time with companies, meeting startups, advising, mentoring, and I am just very impressed with the raw talent of the country.
I'm glad to hear about that because most of the time people think about Italy as just the creative side, right? Just the emotion. And it's very much into our vision and our mission, the one to put the two things together, because we do believe in the fact that people need to put Italy back on the radar, right, of the tech ecosystem.
Yeah, definitely Italy abroad is known for some of the most iconic brands, but when I moved here, I didn't appreciate how strong things like science and manufacturing are.
So going back to Joe, tell us a little bit, is there like an experience who actually defines you as best?
I would say less of an experience, but more of a personality trait. I tend to think of myself as a very, very curious person. I'm always kind of trying to seek new information, go deep into different topics, and love traveling. And I've always sort of followed my curiosity, and it's sort of taken me to weird places. I have a PhD in synthetic biology because I was curious about it, and I ended up at Airbnb because I was really curious about it. And curiosity brought me to Italy and to the tech ecosystem. So that's sort of like a core personality trait.
Oh, and so curiosity is at the basis of innovation somehow, right? And
Absolutely, yeah.
If you had to think about an image, right, help us to visualize your way of seeing innovation. What is the most powerful image that comes to your mind?
Well, the image is more abstract for me. And I think you were sort of hitting on it earlier, which is art and science. I believe the best products are made of a combination of art and science. You look at Apple, art and science. You look at Pixar, beautiful storytelling with great technology. Since I've been here, I've spent a bit of time with Ferrari. Amazing technology, beautiful passion, beautiful emotion married together. And I think Italy has a lot of that very inherently.
And so I understand that the combination, like mixing, like in a very special recipe, is something that makes the difference. We have been talking in Tech.Emotion also with some other guests during the video podcast about the importance of combining intelligences. What do you think about that? And what type of intelligences we should actually be sure to involve in innovative processes?
If you're referring to, human intelligence and artificial intelligence, I think that they should be working very closely together, same as art and science, same as creativity and technology. A lot of people are afraid of combining those two things, but there's a quote I love from Victor Hugo, and I'll paraphrase it, but it's, no force in the world is as powerful as an idea whose time has come. And I think AI's time has come, and it's something that we should learn how to work with and make sure we don't use it for bad things, but also learn how to harness the energy and extend human potential.
So during one of these episodes of the podcast, I talked to a very successful entrepreneur, a girl, a lady. And during a conversation about the combination of intelligences, she actually shared this feeling that AI scares her. So what would be your feedback to that?
The first thing I have is empathy. It's change. It's radical change. And maybe sometimes technology change is not so scary. I don't think mobile phones, people were too scared of them. But certainly new technologies can be very scary. But at the same time, I don't think the reaction should be to push back against them. I think the reaction should be to work with them. And I like to use the analogy of surfing. When you're out in the water, there's nothing you can do as a human to stop this wave from coming in. The best thing you can learn to do is to work with it and to put the energy into working with the wave.
Working with people, interaction, combinations of intelligences. At the same time, there are maybe one specific person that has inspired us in life. If you think about the person who has inspired you in your life, who would that be?
There have been several. I think one that keeps coming up for me was Walt Disney. And I grew up in Orange County, about 15-minute drive from the first Disneyland. And I spent a lot of time there as a kid. And it was such a magical little universe. And as I got older and I was at Airbnb, we read a lot about Disney and all of the technology and innovation behind the scenes that he used to make that a reality. And when I see some of the things that he did as quickly as he did them, I find it pretty interesting. And once again, coming back to this idea of, art and science sort of coming together. I mean, there's not everything I love about Disney, not everything I love about Walt Disney, but I think he is somebody that, even if I didn't know who he was there in my life as a young kid. And then now I can look at him and be like, oh, what he was doing was truly groundbreaking when no one believed in him.
I love your answer. Can I say that? Because I would have never thought about Walt Disney, but then when you told that, I said, yes, I relate. He inspired, the cartoons inspired, the stories inspired. And we believe stories really inspire and help to see things differently, right?
Yes, we used him a lot as inspiration at Airbnb because his first animated movie, Snow White, was a breakthrough. And he storyboarded the whole journey of the movie Snow White. And we took that idea and we did the same thing for travel. How do you storyboard every step of a trip? And that sort of unlocked a lot of the ability to see bigger and see further. So even just small ways like that, Disney kind of came back into my life.
Well, I am actually extremely impressed by the fact that you're telling us that in Airbnb, you actually use, let's say, Walt Disney and the way they storyboarded as a benchmark or as a reference. You were inspired by that. It's counterintuitive, right? So it put different things together. It's a combination of intelligences. And is there like a moment in time where you pick that as the case and you use, or is it just an intuition? Let's do it the same way.
The time that we did that was maybe 2011. So I'd been with the company for a couple years and we were thinking about what comes after Airbnb. And we all had different ideas. Some people thought we should get into car sharing. Some people thought we should get into drill sharing. Like drills only get 13 minutes of use in their life. We should just share them. Why does everybody have a drill? Yeah. And then my boss, Brian Chesky, the CEO, he went on the holiday and he was rereading a biography of Disney and the light bulb went off reading the biography. And I think that kind of goes to what I was saying earlier about curiosity is there's so many sparks of inspiration in your daily life. If you just listen to them, one day, a Walt Disney idea will come to you. Next day will be an idea from something completely different, like Steve Martin or who knows.
So, Joe, thank you very much for joining us. And you have indeed been a spark of inspiration. And thanks for joining the Tech.Emotion video podcast, 10 Minutes to Inspire.
Thank you so much.